Hey everybody, welcome to Comedy Cellar Nightly. This is it. This is the YouTube that you're watching, and we got big guests tonight. We have Harrison Greenbaum up there.
Hello.
And Mr. Louis Katz joining us from
What's up?
Brooklyn.
No, I'm in Manhattan right now, but close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Harrison, where are you?
Manhattan as well.
Manhattan. Okay, looks like I'm the only Brooklynite here. So,
I mean, it's weird because with the pandemic, it was easy pre-pandemic to be like, yeah, my apartment's a little bit smaller, but I can get to all the things I need to easier.
mm-hmm.
And now it seems less like a deal.
Yeah. The location doesn't matter at all. You could be in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It does not matter.
100%. There's a bunch of comics I know who are like in the middle of the woods, and it does not affect their career at the moment.
Not at all.
Do you guys know anyone who's left New York, like permanently?
Permanently, I don't know. I know I was working at Comedy Central for all of last year, and all of those people don't have to be in the office until like next year. So I know a lot of those people that I worked with have just left, and it doesn't sound like they even have plans to come. They're like, I don't know if we're coming back in January. So I know there's a lot of those people that have left. And
what about comics? No comics?
No Cellar comics I can think of that aren't coming back. I don't know. No one said that they've outright quit.
Some Broadway comedy club comics, some leftover LO comics that are around. It's not even open anymore. Some of that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're not open yet. I thought they'd be the first back, just on the back of a truck somewhere.
Mm-hmm. In the club that they have. They pull a truck in there. So, guys, we have I don't want to burst our bubble right off the start, but I don't know what kind of audience we're going to have tonight, because we're competing with the Democratic National Convention. And if you're going to watch one Zoom out there, if you only got one Zoom to pick from, you're going to go with these old guys talking, like trying to use the computer.
It's Michelle, but is it Michelle on tonight? She's already killing it. She's killing she got a successful podcast. I mean, she's practically a stand-up. So I mean, it's just she's killing it in every aspect. I bet her she's got a great IG presence. I mean, she's really blowing it up.
She does have a good Instagram presence. I feel like they should have just put this whole national convention on on Netflix, like straight away. Just like, just put it right out there.
That's a good idea.
Like that would have been way bigger than a Zoom. I don't want to log it. I can't think of something I want to do less than log into a Zoom and watch Democratic National Convention. Eddie Iff's here. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Oh, what's your background? It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
What is it?
Is that a picture of yourself?
They can't see. I know what it is.
Or is that Louis in the background?
That's me. That's some pictures I send to Eddie. I just send him photos of me just so he can see how I'm doing. They can't see the full thing, so it just looks like me without a shirt on, Eddie. They can't even see what.
I'm just showing
that's cool. That's really good.
A little bit of a lap dance. That's very good. That's a good friend.
There's Lucy and I.
This picture. Thank you for posting that picture. It's funny how I thought I was in shape at the beginning of the pandemic, and this just proves I really wasn't then, so I still am not now. So I really haven't lost anything. It feels good.
I just think everyone is, Louis, but you're right. You're not.
Have you guys been working out?
I have. I bought a pull-up bar, but then it also hurt my arm, so then I stopped.
Oh no.
The arms are important.
The dorkiest workout possible. The
Zumba?
dorkiest. I have one of those Oculus Quests, those like VR headsets.
No.
And they have VR workouts. So in my headset, I look awesome. I'm like smashing these giant balls, and there's a VR lady or man being encouraging. But from the outside, I definitely look like the same person.
Can you film yourself, please? Doing that?
I have some videos.
I would love to see just you working out silently, like silent disco.
I make sounds too. My girlfriend has had to explain she's been on conference calls and stuff for her work, but she has to explain that the weird sounds are her boyfriend doing VR workouts.
So what is the VR workout? Is it like things that you could never do in real life? Is it like a lot of cardio stuff? So you move your arms a lot? Are you just pretending that you're lifting like 5,000 pounds?
You get two of these bats, and then these colored balls come flying at you.
Oh, I played it. It's fun.
So you just do this?
It's a video game. It's not a workout.
No. So you're thinking of Beat Saber, which is awesome, and it's definitely a video game. But then Supernatural is like Beat Saber with a workout plan around it.
Yeah, Eddie, you're thinking of Beat Saber, okay? Like, not whatever other word.
Also, though, they did name it. As much as you look like you're jerking off as anybody who's watching you from outside, it's called Beat Saber, which I'm pretty sure is another name for masturbation.
I walked in on a friend of mine playing that. If you guys know Arch Barker.
Yeah.
And I walk into this place. We were in Australia, and I walk into this apartment, and Arch is playing it. And he looks at me and he goes, "Don't film me, I'll kill you."
But
so you filmed him.
Of course.
Yeah.
But in the video game, there's still someone teaching you, like running you through a workout. Why don't they make it a whole different like reality? Like you're fighting fucking trolls or some shit, you know? Like why don't they make it something more crazy?
Louis.
Yeah.
Louis. We'll work on this after the show. Yeah.
Yeah, don't give away the app idea now. I think that they should do that. They should make it like a thing where the thing that keeps me from working out is knowing that I'm working out. That's usually the big
That's
the
why
big thing
I got it.
holding me
This
back.
is gonna trick me into doing it, and I feel super like a superhero.
Oh my God, I've got the idea for you guys. Hey. I got the idea for you guys. If you like not knowing you're working out, but you're working out, have children.
Yeah, right. Everyone with a kid is fat. So what are you talking about?
Not
yeah,
this.
I feel like the dad bod is not buff.
Yeah.
I chase a 1-year-old around on a constant basis, and I've run marathons, and I would run a marathon any day over chasing this kid around.
That's crazy.
I'm on 24-hour suicide watch with this kid. He tries to kill himself at every turn. It's like the kid has mental telepathy. I'll be in a room, I'll see something. There'll be like one thing I'm like, oh, I bet if he goes over there, that glass looks like it's kind of sharp and he could cut himself on it. And as I think it, he will look, see it, and run for it. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, it's really terrifying, like how I really think there's like something weird going on.
Is this your first baby?
No, I have 2. But the other one didn't try to kill herself.
maybe because the girls are smarter.
I think that's it. Women are so much, if judging by my 2 children, women are so much better than men.
Yeah.
I think also judging based on their historical track record. Just all of history.
Yeah, there's not too many women that you read about that just ran into shards of glass.
Yeah, it really is a pin in the balloon of anybody who talks about intelligent design, because those kids are not intelligent.
No, I don't know how children are alive at all, because I've said this a million times that like giraffes, when they're born, they get up and walk away. They just get up and walk. Humans, you have to do so much with them that if I was like first man and the baby was born, I would have gone, this doesn't work, and thrown it in the river. I would have been like, and then the next one would have come out and I'd be like, oh, another bad one.
Yeah, we got another rotten egg here.
Until one of them started walking, and like, because I think we've enabled them, and that's kind of what created millennials.
That's what's
Thank you. But what about marsupials? You spent a lot of time in Australia. Maybe we're like marsupials without a pouch. You know, we're coming out all fucked up. You just got to put us in a pouch for a while. Let us.
That would work. I mean, my wife wears that little thing.
Yeah.
Holds the baby, and he quiets down. He can't kill himself. It is a great idea.
You know how sometimes you learn like a scientific fact though, and then it just ruins your image of whatever that. Like when I found out that the kangaroo pouch is not soft, it's like more mucusy and moist.
Yeah.
It ruined all of my fantasies about a kangaroo pouch.
That sounds great. Sounds like a pussy.
I thought it was like a soft furry pocket.
Yeah, no, it kind of made all
Sounds
my
a lot like a
fantasies about
pussy.
the kangaroo pouch.
I was like, I'm going to set this one up and somebody's going to knock this down.
Now I'm so intrigued. I'm like, I have to put my hand inside one.
Right? The second I read that, I was like, but no, I know kangaroo wants you to do that. There's no way.
Oh, no.
I hope that's Eddie, if that is your biggest scandal in your career, is that you non-consensually put your hand in a kangaroo's pouch, then you might be okay.
I don't think that they would let you back in Australia. I feel like that would be.
They'll definitely not let you back at that zoo, I can tell you that.
they hate kangaroos. They
do?
they cull them. They kill them all the time, like herds of them, because they're like deer or rats or something. They consider them rodents, and
Wow.
tourists come in and they're like, "Oh my God, kangaroos!" And the Aussies are like, "Yeah, I can kill them, mate." And when they all burned in the fire, everyone around the world was like, "Oh my God, all the kangaroos have died," and all the Aussies were like, "Thank fucking Christ, mate."
What's so bad about them? What are they? What?
They just, it's not that they're.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh my God!
God, I'm gonna
awesome.
jerk off to that later.
That's an image
wow.
I had not seen before.
That looks surprisingly a lot like Louis' picture behind Eddie right now.
It reminded me of this category called gaping. I don't know if you're familiar of gape.
Aware.
I'm afraid it's a porn star named Bonnie Rotten. Do you guys know her?
Yeah, I know her.
Based on her name, I can picture the porn.
Yeah. Her anus. What's that called when it like
Prolapse.
Yeah, she prolapsed her anus.
Yeah.
In a porn, and it's I'm friends with her, and every time I see her, I just can't not see that picture.
Did they put it back?
I don't ask.
I think they have. They should, right?
I don't know if it's surgical or what they have to do. But it's awful.
I had a bit for a while that when that starts, because that just starts happening just from old age. And it was like, my bit was like, that's when, like, you never know when there's like, you've hit the limit, like this is enough life, it's time to go. And I think when your asshole falls out of your body, I think that's it. I did some kind of a groundhogs kind of thing with your.
Yeah, that's a good line to draw.
Sees the light of day, something like that. It didn't work. No one liked it.
Oh my God, I'm at that age where I'm starting to get shingles and my asshole fell out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If your butt falls out of your butt, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the time.
Falls out of your butt.
Butt falls out of your butt. Yeah.
That's it.
Did I just drop that? Oh, that's my asshole. Let me.
I was worried about my ball sagging to the point that they touch the water. They say that can happen when you go to, like, they could get.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that my asshole is all, like, everything is going to touch the water.
It's all going to be wet. It's all wet.
Or
oh, God.
There'll be strangers walking behind you like, did you drop this? Like, and it's going to be bad news.
They'll grab onto the back of it like an elephant holding on to
Oh, God.
My daughter the other day, we were there's where we lived. Our neighbors all have horses, and we live like up in farm territory. And we go down to this one place where they have a horse and a pony. There's both a male horse and a male pony standing there. My daughter looks at the pony and goes, "Look, Dad, he has a penis just like you." And
that's great.
Like, there's a horse right there. Why did you point at the pony? Why?
I mean, I gotta assume a pony's got a still pretty big dick.
Nope. And then we went. This is. And then yesterday we're surfing, and I'm changing into a wetsuit. When you change into a wetsuit, you always put a towel around you. Take your shorts off. Put the wetsuit up underneath the towel because you're in a parking lot somewhere. My daughter goes, "Why do you have the towel on, Dad?" Or like, "Why are you doing that?" And I go, "Oh, because you got to cover up." She goes, "So no one can see your little penis?" Five. And I go, and I don't know why, but my natural reaction, I go, "It's not little."
Wow, so women really are smarter than men.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are they? Well, go ahead.
I got nothing.
Oh, all right. Well, was your kid going to start like kindergarten? I guess none of that's happening now, or
No,
they have.
I mean, she's going to go online, but it's just
Online kindergarten sounds ridiculous. I mean, half of kindergarten seems like just hugging and rolling around with kids. You know, so what? You can't do that.
It's pathetic. I don't even know why or what. We're just going to hire a teacher with like 3 other families in our neighborhood, and just.
That's great.
And I think that's what we should do. And that was originally the plan. And you just kind of keep your bubble smaller. You're still at risk, but
yeah. But if you can make your own bubble, I feel like that's got to be the way to go for like early education, especially because like Louis, it's all about socializing these kids. That's what it's for. Like they're gonna learn their address and how to write their name and at some point, regardless, you know.
I also just realized that I think we're stacked the same way in the grid everywhere, but if I lean down, it looks like I have Louis' body.
I see it.
I can't see it. It just looks like I'm on my body to me.
That's perfect.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, I was saying there's a book, Sebastian Junger, I think, wrote the book Tribe, about how we're supposed to live in like groups of like 100 and some people, and everybody like has a purpose, and you stay within your tribe. And that's why like everything got just completely out of control before the pandemic. And it's actually, that's the way you're supposed to be in your community, go to school in your community. One person's the teacher, one person makes the food, you know, that kind of shit. And it just makes for like happier way of life. And I'd prefer that if my neighborhood had some little school and all the kids went to it. But in my little neighborhood of like, you know, a couple hundred houses, if you pull, you'd find out that like kids go to like 30 different schools.
Jeez.
You know, all
you should see if you can get Will Smith in your bubble.
Will Smith used to have a school in my neighborhood. He had his own school. This is hilarious. It's called the Muse School. Now it's called the Muse School, and it's owned by what's his name, James Cameron. But it was originally, and it's an environmental school. But it used to be Will Smith's school, and they found out they were teaching the kids Scientology.
Yeah, no shit. Of course they were.
Hey, that's a very weird biology class.
Yeah. So I went to the school to look at it, and my wife's all about like what are they teaching and what do they eat, blah blah blah. I go down to the Muse School, and they have a slide that goes from like the top of the mountain down to the bottom, and I was like, we're going here. We're going here. I'm like, this is And I'm like, why? I'm like, there's a slide at the like, and they have a falconer at the school.
No way.
Oh.
Swear to God, it's so environmental that they don't kill rodents. They let the falcons do it, and they have like an on-site falconer.
That's awesome.
Sounds amazing.
Like I saw a rat. Well, I'll take care of that.
Whoa.
I love that. I went to a public school that couldn't afford basic amenities. And they have
that's what I'm saying. It's also, it makes you such a freak when you meet anyone else. And so remember in elementary school when the falconer would come around and everyone's like, what are you talking about? You're such a fucking weirdo. Like, no one, you know.
Yeah, we had to cancel tennis because the courts fell into disrepair and we had no money to fix them.
There you go. That's relatable.
Yeah.
We had at my high school, they spent thousands of dollars on this big seal to put in the middle of the floor, and it said Francis House Central, it said always achieving excellence, but they spelled excellence wrong, and that was just in the floor. Yeah.
Wow.
Excellence.
Where to school, Ryan?
Francis House Central in Missouri, in Cottleville, Missouri.
Well, that explains it.
Did they fix it? Did they eventually fix it, or did they?
Yeah, so they realized like they got you could see like days of meetings were happening about like someone put an A in excellence, and that's not good. And so there was like you would see like the principals standing around and just like shaking their head, and then they roped it off and covered it up, and then eventually it was fixed. And I don't know where they got the money to fix it, but yeah, it was pretty great because there was like definitely a week where it was like no one. I'm like walking around like I don't think this is right. So
they bring in the guy who painted it. They're like, Brian, what did you do? He's like, I see no problem. And he's like, spell excellence. And he's like, yeah, I spelled excellence correctly.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Weird mascot.
It would have been
we were the Spartans.
Ooh, very aggressive.
Yeah.
It would have been great if they never had the money to fix it. It had forever.
Beautiful. Yeah, they're just always achieving that level of excellence at that point.
It's a private school, right?
No. It was public high school.
Wow. Just imagine that kind of money to have a seal put in this somewhere.
Yeah, they had it was like the new school. So this was like the third school in the district. So they built this thing all new, and they would piece by piece they would get new things, and this piece was had a big spelling error right as you walked in. So
where in Missouri is that?
That is in St. Charles, Missouri, which is just west of St. Louis, like over the river. So it's in the general St. Louis area.
I find it funny that St. Louis, that nobody wants to ascribe to St. Louis. Everybody's like, I'm from, you'll be like,
oh, no.
Listen.
No, everybody says they're from St. Louis, but it's just there's 99 municipalities because it's been so like butchered and there's like all this racial tension and whatever else. So like nobody pays taxes for the actual city, and that's why you get like the city statistics to be crazy because like the actual area is so small, but everybody lives around here. And then they count their murder rates all different, and their police, they have different ambulance. It's crazy. It's madness.
What's the area where the guy was murdered?
That was in Ferguson, which is north St. Louis. Huh?
Isn't that St. Louis though?
That's St. Louis County. St. Louis City is its own thing. The county has 99 municipalities in it. And then there's a St. Charles County, which is also should be in that. You know how LA is like cut up into so many different cities and towns? It's just like that, except even more and crazier and in St. Louis.
I feel like in the sitcom version of this, though, the guy paints excellence and then gets like beaten up, and then the ambulance pulls up and it's spelled with an ENC.
Ambulance.
At the end.
That's funny.
There's this private ambulance company that goes around my neighborhood that spells it AMBULNZ.
I've seen that.
And that's like the name of it.
Like an app. I think it's like an app-based ambulance, like private ambulance.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
There's somebody in Silicon Valley who was like, people love Ubers. Why can't we Uber an ambulance?
I called an ambulance one time. My wife, when she was pregnant, we thought she was having a miscarriage. And I call an ambulance. And it turns out she was just having a panic attack. But I called an ambulance, and the 911 dispatcher was like, so what are her symptoms, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and they're like, you know what? Take her yourself. Go to they're like, it's going to cost you so much money.
Wow.
And they were like, just drive, you'll get there faster. Just be safe. And I was like, that's for the counseling. I'm glad we live in this world where you're like, trying to talk me out of a hospital bill.
That's crazy.
See, look at this. It is ending up like the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah, it is. We have problems.
About
we'll get there.
We're talking.
No, let's talk about prolapsed anuses. Let's make people know the difference between our program and theirs.
Well, everyone that's actually
kangaroo?
speaking there has prolapsed anuses because they're so old. So there you go.
I like that Louis drinking a jug of wine while he's talking.
I got wine. I got water. You might be confused, and then I also got a salad. I probably shouldn't be eating, but we're supposed to replicate that we're at the table at the Cellar, so I'm deciding to eat in homage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are there kebabs in that salad?
So many kebabs.
Man, I miss the food. I miss sitting around. I miss being normal.
Yeah. Are you guys socializing at all or anything?
I've been doing. Sorry. What'd you say?
I don't miss shit. I love this.
Well,
you're by the
a little bit, man.
I don't miss airplanes. I don't miss airports. I don't miss shitty hotels. I don't miss good hotels. I don't miss hacking. This is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
You don't feel weird being in one place for so long? I don't think I've been in one place for so long in like 20 years.
We drove across country. We went to my in-laws and my parents on the East Coast, and we camped the whole way and camped back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it was like
it's a Falconer when they got you as a dad.
What did you drive in? What did you take?
My truck. I have an SUV, 4Runner, and just put everything on the roof, and it was fun. It was really fun. We went all through Colorado and Utah. And
wow.
Yeah,
that's great.
How long?
So it took us like 3 days to get there. We went fast to get there, and then we stayed for a month and a half, and then drove back in maybe 8 days.
That's awesome. Wow. I wouldn't mind going camping if I was with you. I feel like you do it right. I bet you got a lot of nice gear.
Yeah, I'm all about gear.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
My wife wouldn't even let us use public toilets though. She brought a shitter and a tent that goes around the shitter and a solar shower. So we didn't talk to anybody. We just were on our own little.
What's a solar shower?
So it's you fill up a bag with water and it's got a tube from it with a shower head, and you just leave it out for an hour and it heats up and you get warm water.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So it was, and you just put it up in this tent and you can take like full shower and just drains out on the ground. Yeah, it was great. Except for the very first day we went to Moab, and Moab's like in a canyon on the Colorado River. And we drove through the night, and I didn't realize we were driving through the mountains, and there was a snowstorm, and all I had on were flip-flops.
Oh my God.
And then we get to this campground. I set up the tent. There are these girls next to us that didn't know how to set up a tent. And I said to my wife, I got to go over and help them. She's like, don't. There's the coronavirus. And I'm like, they don't know what they're doing. So I go over and I'm explaining to these girls, like, I'm Mr. Camp Man. And I'm like, here's what you do. You got to put these stakes in. You got to do this. And then my wife goes, I'm going to take the kids for a hike. You take a nap because you're cranky and evil. And I go to take a nap in my tent, and the canyons at about like 2 o'clock or so, the winds start kicking up. And this wind comes through and takes my tent like a parachute and pulls it out of the ground and drags me down the riverbed almost into the Colorado River. And I was a couple trees away from going into the river and dying the worst death you could die. And just,
wow.
How did he die? He couldn't unzip himself out of a tent and drown in the Colorado River. And
oh my God.
So I get out, I come up, and I'm like looking around thinking everybody's tents have been, taken away, and just mine. I was the only one. So I packed it up. My wife comes back from the hike. She goes, where's the tent? I go, come on, we're leaving. I'm embarrassed that like everyone, those girls saw me.
Did you not put stakes in?
I put all the sticks in. They all came out.
Wow.
You ever see somebody get dragged in a parachute? Like when they land?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Or like a kiteboarding. That was me. I was just getting dragged. I couldn't believe it was happening.
Did it rip the tent?
Did
it hurt you? Did it hurt you just being dragged?
No, it didn't hurt. It was just terrifying.
Just embarrassment
that's so scary.
every time.
It's so embarrassing.
A rolling embarrassment.
There's no way to top that. You've had such an exciting pandemic. I went to the grocery store a few days ago. It was rough.
I was in a hailstorm in Nebraska. I didn't know what to do. I pulled over at a truck stop and asked the truckers what to do. I'm like, how do we die? And the truckers were all like, this wind will tip us over, but you're probably okay.
Like, okay, that's the confidence you want.
Yeah. I got a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. Let's just keep on going.
Jesus. So
probably okay.
Nebraskans are really nice. My girlfriend is Nebraskan, so I've been to Nebraska a bunch. They're really nice. Nebraska nice is a very real thing.
They're excellent.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, no, it does sound like a super fun trip. I wish I'd done something like that, but I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is going to go down in history as like a great summer in New York. I think it's kind of amazing here right now. That's what I think. And I don't know if you guys are having such a good time, but it's kind of great here. It's been the most mild summer I can remember. There was like 2-week heat wave. That's it. It's like the right amount of empty. All the dining outside is nice. I'm like using all the outdoor stuff more. I'm riding my bike everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, and there's that month of fireworks, which is kind of scary, but still kind of awesome. I mean, I don't know. Until that money ran out, it was pretty great.
But the social aspect of it, like New York's great about like socializing. And that would be frustrating, I think, of like, that's what's so great about New York.
It's true. That's what I thought at first. Like I was like, everything that's good about New York, you can no longer do. But there's something about like the vibe of just, so my girlfriend lives in the East Village. So the vibe in downtown New York is like, it feels alive again. It doesn't feel as much of a ghost town. There's so much dining outside. And what you forget about also is that the infrastructure here, like there's so many bike lanes now. So it's so bikeable. Oh, and the month before 2 people died on those Revel scooters, Eddie, they had these mopeds that you could just rent, like city bikes, and take them everywhere. It was awesome. So we got some of those, which we're taking those around. I started using the fit. What?
Did they get rid of them because people died?
Yeah, 2 people died, and then they stopped. Oh. But maybe they'll bring them back. We can only hope. And then we were also taking the ferry. I was taking the ferry all around. And, they've turned, you forget about, and also because I'm in Brooklyn, but you forget that, like, Manhattan is Manhattan because it's an island. So there's so much shipping. That's why it became such a, like, mega city. But they've turned almost all of that edge of the city into parkland, man. So there's so much waterfront park that it's just kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I performed comedy in Battery Park.
I did the Wagner Park shows.
You guys are doing the park shows, huh?
I did a few of those. I did a drive-in 2 nights ago.
Nothing like getting shut down though in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. What happened to us? It was just like freedom of speech, and then it's just like this show is canceled.
Oh, did they cancel those?
They shut down the second show. I thought
they were legal.
It was kind of I think it's I don't know. I think it's a weird gray area where it's not really defined because there's no microphone. It's just a person talking, which is not at all illegal. But I think I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, that's not good.
I've watched a few, but I haven't performed. I don't know. There's something like I know what we do is inherently narcissistic, but there's something about someone screaming at people at a park where everyone is trying to have their own fun, and you're trying to be bigger than nature. That feels like wow, really like take yourself down a notch. It just feels I don't know crazier.
It is really weird. It feels strange. I've done 3 of them now, and it was but there was a microphone for the Prospect Park one.
Oh,
Have you ever been to
that was okay.
Have you ever been to Speaker's Corner in London?
No.
In London, there's an area of I think it's Hyde Park that they call it Speaker's Corner, and people get up on like a soapbox and like talk.
Cool.
And you can talk about anything. You can give a speech. It was like I think it was originated as like you go off about politics or something. But some of the people are funny. Some of them are just giving like a rant about politics or whatever. But it was like this area that was designated for freedom of speech that they didn't have at all times. And you could like bitch about the Queen or something. It was this only small area. They call it Speaker's Corner, and it still exists. You go there and there's people and crowds. And that's what I feel like this is. Like, hey, hear my ideas.
I feel like there's a security in a microphone and a like when you're a designated comedian in a designated comedy place, you can be like, let me tell you something very deeply personal about me. But when you're screaming it in a park and there's people walking by, you're like, people think I'm gay. They're just like,
and also
some of the bits feel weird.
Speaker's Corner is called Speaker's Corner. This is part of the park that is now ruined. That's what it is. That's all it is.
This is a filthy part of the park.
Yeah.
It's it's not great. I'll tell you that. I did a patio at Governor's Comedy Club in Long Island. They have
I was there last weekend. Man,
that was pretty fun. I thought.
Really?
I don't know.
I was going to say, it's funny because all these outdoor gigs, you feel like, it's outdoors, it's during the day, maybe there's no mic, who knows? But people are so hungry for so that's on the low, but people are so hungry for comedy that you think that balances out because they're so hungry and maybe the situation is good, but they're so enthusiastic that it evens out. Yeah. But last weekend at Governor's, I was in front of a crowd that like, they hadn't been outside to a show in 5 months and they still couldn't give a shit about it. They didn't care. They didn't want to laugh. They were just fucking so dumb as usual. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it.
It's weird.
One show was just like, wow, people are the worst.
Because you can make those shows pretty safe, like, but they're never 100% like perfectly safe. Like, there's no way to guarantee. So that means that even if they're taking a tiny risk, they're risking their lives to be dicks to you and not laugh.
That's right. It was crazy. Oh, and these shows out there, which they're being extra safe, but it's going to be a problem because I know the Cellar set this up too. They did those clear plastic like
the glass,
area.
Right?
Not good.
No,
it's you feel so distant from the crowd. You feel it's like it kills that magic that it's happening right there. It's almost like they're watching you on TV.
Remember that TV show on Comedy Central? I think it was I forget whose show it was. Some alt comic had a show where they like put you in a box and you can't see the audience.
Oh, that's what's that called? Something in heaven or some 7 minutes and.
Oh yeah,
it's in hell. I think it's called. Or something.
Yeah, it's in hell.
I didn't know that was on Comedy Central. That always sounded like a nightmare. I didn't want to do it at the Creek and the Cave. I would never.
They did it on digital Comedy Central thing with
okay.
it. Yeah.
You're like on a webcam in another room, so you can't hear or see the reaction of the audience is in the room, right?
Yeah, it's just Zoom shows. It's just what Zoom shows are.
I just never understood this. It's like it's like these shows that do those different variations on stand-up, or like where like someone in the crowd is a designated heckler. It's like, it's hard enough already. Give us a fucking break. Like, why would you add things to make it more difficult?
Or
like,
this perspective of it. Hey, let's take something that is really awesome and really great, and we're gonna mess it up.
Well,
We're gonna take steak. We're gonna take steak and we're gonna burn it. Boy, tell us how you like it burnt.
Honestly, I don't think what I'm about to say is very funny. I think this is just what it is that comedy is so hard that they just are like, well, if we do this shitty version of it, then no one will know that we're bad at it. So then the audience is in on the joke with us, and we don't actually have to do like a thing where we get on stage with nothing and we have to control the people's, make everybody a crowd, and then like have a topic and then like expand upon the topic and then end in laughs and build. We don't have to do that because we're playing this game that we invented.
But it's got to be hard.
That's
to
interesting.
Pitch. Like if you're going to a Comedy Central pitch meeting and you're with all the executives, I bet you can't just be like, so then they just like talk into a microphone and you're like, oh, they do stand up. Yes. Like I feel like you have to add something so you feel like you're contributing, because you can't just pitch another stand-up show.
I've done a show. It was actually like hours of show. It was for an app that I got paid a boatload of money, so I agreed to do it, where I performed to a fake audience. Like they were paid to be there. And they made me go through all my material, like every joke that I had ever written for this app that no one ever saw. And I was like, my agent was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm doing this thing.
It's not like it's burnt.
He's like, what if everyone sees it? I'm like, nobody's ever gonna see it. Making apps and I go, just let me do this thing. And he was like, all right, but I'm warning you. And I was like, thanks.
But it was though that I've done enough. Like originally I was like, the idea of a Zoom show didn't sound great, but in terms of the alternative, which is, I guess, well, now there's outdoor shows, but when the alternative was nothing, being able to do a Zoom thing where there was like other people in little squares and they could laugh if they had their microphones and cameras on, it wasn't bad. It was like, it definitely, there were moments where that was at least some kind of, it wasn't a full hit on the comedy drug, but was like a taste.
Yeah, I had like a mixed reaction. Some of them are awful and some of them are okay. But nothing is good.
Like with regular shows.
True.
It's not good.
To me, it felt like.
Have you ever gone to an audition and the casting director's like, okay, so we want you to do a little bit of your act.
And there's two of them.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work. And they're like, well, do you want the job? And you're like, you're going to really make me do this shit right now.
Like Louis. That. When you were at Governor's, I don't want to shit on Governor's. I had a great time when I was there. But the piece of glass is what I take issue with, because that's going to be the new normal for us. They have a glass, and so you're inside of basically a fish tank. Yeah. When I was there, it was so dirty by the time that I got up there that I could not see the front row. I saw their legs, and then it was just like that, like water-stained plexiglass kind of thing where it's like, it doesn't even look like it's going to wipe off. It's like that is like, the glass is just, you can't see through it. It seems insane.
How many of you bring your own microphone from now on?
I keep forgetting, and they keep promising
mic and mic covers.
That's so smart. They keep promising they're going to do that. They're going to provide their own, each individual mic. I've been done 2 shows where they just haven't. They're like, well, we just didn't. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe it.
At the Astoria Drive-In, they give
That's
you
what I bought. I bought a giant pack for myself on Amazon.
Nice.
It's my comedy to go bag now.
Okay,
but I got like a bag.
We've done it before. We did on the podcast. We unscrewed a microphone and looked inside.
No,
it's worse than a New York City like subway floor. It's the grossest thing inside a microphone. How much we at and fill
I regularly bump them against my lip and then feel horrible after, and that's pre-pandemic.
I mean, I didn't realize how gross they were until I did a set and I got off stage and I realized I had lipstick on me because the comic before me had lipstick on.
Oh no!
And I was like, if that was able to transfer, then everything, like at that point, I was like, this
No,
I have my own microphone.
I've been a germaphobe since before this. So if I touch them, I will remember if I touch the mic to my lip, and I will Purell my lip after the show. I will just rub it on my face.
Yeah.
Defend the glass. I want to defend the plexiglass at the comedy show because my favorite thing at the zoo is the penguins, and I've always wondered what it was like to be the penguins.
Well, now you have your chance.
It's like that.
It's like
really
that
what
if
they
the
should
Penguins
do.
were bombing.
Yeah.
What if you were
Everyone
really
loves the
unimpressed
Penguins.
with the Penguins?
Don't you think the penguins think they're bombing, like they're doing special tricks, and some of the kids aren't reacting, and some penguin is like, "What am I doing wrong?"
Yeah, when they get the light, that's when they go down the slide. That's when they do the dip. Like everyone wants that. They just want to see you dive, bird. Dive, bird.
That's a Schwarzenegger impression.
I never realized that all the penguins who were waiting on top, that was just the green room. That was just a penguin green room. They were enjoying a meal, and then they all dive down to a set, come back up.
What they really need to do with these shows, though, and this is what I learned from governors, and it's too bad the Cellar's already set up this way. Maybe they can move it, but the glass shouldn't be in front of the stage. It should be in front of the first row of people. That would help a lot. That's how it should. That's how I think that might be better. I'm not sure.
I agree, because I've seen when I'm on stage, and I don't spit when I talk, but I've seen with the lights on me and everything, like drops come out of my mouth while I'm performing and just land on somebody's chicken fingers.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I've seen that too. I always feel bad, and then I feel compelled to address it. I don't, because
I
would be much worse.
I'll address it. I'll be like, I think I spit on you a little bit. Sorry about that. It doesn't help.
Boy.
No one laughs. People are
These
grossed
chicken
out.
wings are mine now. I think those are the rules.
I mean, that's definitely a way to pass it. You think about like when Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub and the two other guys with them went, and they all got it. All four of them got it at a show in San Antonio. I swear that had to be the microphone. It was just like 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, but they also didn't. They were doing like meeting. There was like no social distancing happening.
I heard they high-fived or fist bumped people.
I recently heard that Brian Callen likes to touch people, so it might be that it could have been one of those situations.
Did you see the stand-up Batman joke about it?
No, what did he say? Or she, who we don't know.
Stand-up Batman is it's a comic who goes by an anonymous name. Nobody knows, and he just roasts comics, and it's great. And he's on Twitter, or she. And the other day they had one that said, hey, the LA Times just came out with an article about Brian Callen accusing Brian Callen of being Brian Callen.
That's funny.
I would like to get that joke, but I don't get it.
It's just I'm not going to get into it, but
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Can we, like, speaking of Batman though, like every superhero movie going forward, is it going to feel less? Is it going to feel weird when the villain's plan doesn't involve a worldwide pandemic?
Probably.
Oh, you're just going to blow up one city? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get over that. We just lost 200,000 people. You think we give a shit if Toledo explodes? You know.
Yeah,
you're gonna blow.
Come on, Joker, bring us something.
That's the worst case scenario. Is that one building goes.
I'm not a fan of superhero films, so I hope that somehow this destroys them. Like, nobody cares anymore, and I'm like, oh, thank God, this is what it took.
Well, are there movies anymore at all? Are they making more movies?
They're in production.
There's Tyler Perry.
There are celebrities Instagramming pics from set.
Tyler Perry's got a bubble. Tyler Perry has the bubble, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine how crazy that must be?
They'll have like the electricians come on set and they all stay together and then they leave. Then lighting comes on, then they leave. Then my sister is a manager of actors and actresses. She's got some up in Canada right now. They had to quarantine once they got to Canada. They have to stay in a hotel. If they leave for any reason, they get fined like a crazy amount of money. Like it's like $250,000 or something if you leave their hotel room. So they have to stay in their hotel room. There's all these kind of rules and laws. I mean, Canada's a lot more serious about it than we are. You know, they have leaders and they have
a plan.
Yeah. And they have no COVID. I mean, it's just like, it's like so much less than ours. So there's stuff going on. Like people have figured out how to get around it. And, yeah, it's Hollywood. They need to make money. They're gonna.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna stop them.
But they're not doing TV, right?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of TV is shut down.
Rob
They're
Lowe
doing it.
about it on Rogan's show, saying he was doing his show, and they had a whole plan of how they were doing it. And,
Great. Now we got to watch Rob Lowe's show.
we had a show.
And
I didn't know he had a
cartoons
show.
have not skipped a beat. Like the Sunday Fox thing where you get like Simpsons, Family Guy, all those shows. They're gonna air new episodes because they don't. You can write via Zoom, ship it over. Ship it to your animators. They can do it independently.
But by the way, back to Rob Lowe. Didn't he get busted when he was like years ago for like having sex with a minor and filming the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah. And it's like, hey, no big deal. He got caught. He got busted. It's over now. Meanwhile, everyone else, it's like, gotcha. You did this. You did boom, boom, boom. But Rob Lowe, like, hey, have another TV show.
I didn't know that he did that.
This is your Bill Cosby.
I mean, his was like, I mean, it was a big deal at the time because no one was being outed at the time. But
I think they were very close in age.
Nope.
I believe. No?
Nope.
Let's find out. Can we get that up? Where's our producer? Can we get Rob Lowe sex scan?
Can we
Checking
pull
it right
up
now.
Rob Lowe having sex
That's
with a
insane.
kangaroo? I
Let
don't
me
know.
see.
I've never heard anything about this.
Well, I mean, you also, if you talk about that stuff, it's also like every rock star in the 70s fucked teenagers. That's what they did. Or 60s and 70s, that's what rock stars did. So any rock idol you got from those times, that's what was going on. Bowie, Jagger, all of them.
Pull it up. Rob Lowe has found a silver lining in his career-threatening scandal from the late 80s. The film sexual encounter made during the
Here we
1988
go.
Democratic National Convention was brought up during the 55-year-old star's appearance on 16-year-old
Oh, boy.
16-year-old girl.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think that must be it, is that it was in the 80s. So no one that I bet this comes out. I bet we're breaking this now. I think we're ending Rob Lowe's career as we speak.
Well, but he got sober and everything. It's like what Chappelle said. Chappelle has a really funny bit about celebrities. Whenever they get in trouble, they go to rehab, and it's like being on base. Like, cheated on my wife, went to rehab, I'm safe. Like safe on base. And if you go to, like, I remember people saying about Louis, like, he needs to go to therapy, and it's like, how do you know he doesn't? Like, everybody's like, he needs to do. What do you follow him around on a regular basis? Are you monitoring his activity? Do you have an ankle bracelet on him? Like, who are you to judge his lifestyle or how he's handling this? And that's what they want. They want you to show, he went to rehab, he went to jail, he went to this, he went to that, he got his punishment, and now we'll let him back into life. Mm-hmm. He's allowed back so Rob Lowe went to rehab, and they were like, okay, it's okay now.
I also
don't know if that makes it okay.
I also think the fact that he was 24 does make it different. It's still illegal, but he's 24. Yeah, that's what the thing that we just while you were reading your phone, the great
she was
Cellar
16.
producer.
I don't know that. I don't think that.
I'm not saying that's cool. I'm just saying
that's
different than a 30 or 40-year-old doing that. I think it's different.
Still wrong. 24-16. That's still wrong.
Yeah.
We're in agreement there. I think that
still wrong. I'm saying people's capacity to forgive him might be bigger.
I see. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what?
What's weirder than all that is that you've got what's his name? Who's the guy that owned the Playboy forever?
Hugh Hefner?
When he was like 80, he was banging like girls that just turned 18.
Yeah,
like
that's fucked up.
A day after they turned, and everyone's like, "Wow, I want to be like Hugh Hefner." And it's like, why is this acceptable? This creepy 80-year-old man banging like just legal girls.
Yeah, that's not good. We have such
kind of gross.
I don't like that. I think, obviously I think like sexual education in our country is like really, it just, I wouldn't even say that it's broken. I feel like it doesn't exist, like you learn about the parts.
State by state. Like if you're in a liberal, like blue state, you probably are learning
still
about.
Not that good. It's still
at
not
the
that
school
good.
that was
better though than like, if you're in a random southern state where they only teach you abstinence.
Well, that's what we got in the School of Excellence was basically we learned about the parts, and then we were just set free, you know, like just go and do that.
Prophylactic with an F.
Yeah. Condom had 3 Ks in it. It was very taboo. We're like, this doesn't seem right.
Oh, that's
what kind of education is this? This doesn't feel good. So, yeah, but I mean, it's just, I think that we need to have some kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I don't think it's on the education system necessarily, but I just don't think that the way there's a difference. I don't know. It makes me feel like a prude to think that some of these things are just like way out there and not for me. But then there's also like, I think to be sex positive and be good, we actually have to talk and teach people how to do it. That's appropriate, you know. Instead,
what do you think is way out there? Let's talk about it. Like, what are you talking about? Like some certain sex moves?
I think that our whole culture's like.
I definitely don't want Louis teaching the class because I feel like it would get too specific. He's like, let me tell you which positions are the best.
I know. In general,
this is educational. Prolapsed anus.
You're cool with bestiality, though, right?
No, what I'm trying to say is, what I mean to say, if I want to get specific, is I feel like our whole culture shifted a little too towards violence. Like it all seems very like hand in hand with violence. Like you look like the titles of the porns, and it's all very aggressive.
That's like, they're targeting you. That's what you get.
I think that's just based on your search history.
Yeah. No, it's all incognito, baby. I'm getting what the masses are getting.
I get all the incest stuff. I don't.
Yeah, that as well. I see a lot of that too.
Yeah, you're a family man.
The verbiage. Look at the verbiage. The verbiage is all very aggressive.
But there's all this. That's obviously what people want. The masses want, like, because I wonder that all the time. I'm like, it ruins it for me. I'm like, I want to watch this porn, and then I'm like, a guy fucks his stepsister or his sister while his parents are at it, and I'm like, that just made it like.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
It is. It's weird. Yeah, but also it's like, you know, what they say is that incest is like the last taboo thing that we have as a culture, I guess, and maybe that's what is going on there.
There's more porn now. There's
animals and doo-doo and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, I had to do this research there's another comedy show. They're talking about the rise of COVID porn. And like this lady is wearing a mask, but there's a hole in the mask so that she can blow the guy, which just feels like a very, very bad idea. And I feel like it's just not the proper mask technique. We shouldn't be encouraging.
They rank porn stars, like women, by like the most viewed, like number 1 to 1 million or whatever there are out there. And the one that consistently for a while, I don't know if it still does, comes up number 1 is Mia Khalifa, who is an Islamic girl. And it was like, she was out there and she was getting death threats from like the Islamic community because what she was doing was, you know, anti-Islamic. And, but I think it was like the wrongness of just every guy from, you know, one of the townships of St. Louis that was going, I'm going to fuck me a Muslim.
Well, she was on Rami on Hulu, and the whole episode is kind of around it. And it's like very poignant. And it was like interesting where she was like, I'm getting death threats, but also they're watching it. And so it's a mixed message. And she's like she's a really interesting viewpoint. The episode is really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think that's probably what it is. It's probably that people are looking at it because it feels wrong. But I think that we have to, without a healthy understanding of what is right in a regular relationship, I think that's what's getting out of whack for me. Like, I think it's fine to have fantasies, but I don't think it's fine when those blend into regular life, and then you have, you know, rampant misconduct in these places or abuses of power, et cetera, et cetera.
It's just whether you think the porn is the cause of the effect, and also it's the inability of people to separate. To me, porn is very different from sex. Like, I don't have sex like I watch porn. It's kind of like you're trying to do the opposite thing. When I watch porn, I'm trying to get that nut pretty quick. When I'm having sex, I'm trying to like prolong it. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So I think that's what I'm talking about. That's why you need the higher level of like taboo from porn, because you're just like, I don't want to spend all day doing this, Give me something real nasty.
But
Whereas
like
with sex,
this conversation,
And who honestly needs porn
conversation
when
happening
this?
right now? This conversation doesn't go on in mainstream media at all, but it should, because we have all these problems going on. And it's like nobody talks about how popular porn is, and it's more popular than anything. You go on these videos and it'll be like, this one was downloaded 6 billion times today.
yeah.
And you're like, why are we not talking about this? There's a saying in the porn industry that like people point their finger with their right hand but jerk off with their left. Like everybody's like, you're wrong, you're wrong. Oh my God, you're wrong. And everyone is watching it, and everyone is it's like the most viewed shit on the internet. But no one wants to talk about it, and no one wants to discuss it.
Hard to believe that most people are jacking off with their left hand. I just don't.
That's very
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
I do both.
Most people are right-handed. It's the good hand.
It's a great hand.
So you got to do with the other hand to build up muscle mass, because you always have more muscle mass in your dominant hand. It's science. And also, I don't think people need porn anymore. Now this picture of your chest is on the internet, and I think this could be the most viewed episode. There we go. That's for all of your needs right there.
or we could just go get that picture of the kangaroo back. But folks, I think we had a great show tonight. I think that we should, keep talking about that. There should be a healthy difference between your real sex life and your porn. And I think both are good if you know that the other's out there, right? You got to know what you're dealing with. And that's good. I think we're doing a lot of good work here. Us 4 white men on the internet. Guys, I think this was great. Thank you, Comedy Cellar. If you want to plug something, plug your socials. Let's go around the horn. Harrison, what do you got?
Perfect. At Harrison Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. I'm doing a bunch of interviews for the National Comedy Center. They aired the first batch this weekend. There's 2 more weekends. I have an interview coming up with Gilbert Gottfried. There's a surprise guest. Penn Jillette drops in. It's super fun. So definitely check that out. It's you just go to comedycenter.org/festival.
Great. Eddie?
I just want to say thank you, guys. It's always nice talking to comedians. No, it's interesting conversations that I don't get, and I miss this. So it's really fun talking to a bunch of comics, and I really have a good time. So it's fun. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram at Eddie Ifft. I want to see if anyone adds me from this. I don't think anyone.
I'll do it right now.
I'm going to check. And I do a podcast called the Wadcast Podcast, which is about fitness, weirdly.
Nice.
It's if you want to check that out.
Louis?
It's been a pleasure, everybody. You can follow me at I believe I'm Louis Katz Comedy on Instagram, LouiskAtz Comedy, Louis Katz at Twitter, and I got 2 albums. You can download them if anyone still does that, or better yet, just go to Pandora, do a Louis Katz station, and just play it in the background while you sleep. Get me some of that royalty money, please. I'd appreciate it.
Yes. All right. You can find me at I am Ryan Beck, and I'm with Eddie. I just like talking to comics, and I want to see if anyone will add me on social media. So, folks,